Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hannants London YouTube channel, where we're going to be taking a look this week at 3 different beginner techniques for oil weathering your models. Now, oil weathering should generally be done after the decals have been applied, washes have gone down, and all that work has been sealed in with a varnish of your choice. Personally, I like to do this type of oil weathering on top of satin finishes. It's not too rough so that we can't push the oils around, and it's not too glossy that the oils will slide too far. For this demonstration, we're going to be applying oils on an almost completed Tamiya F14D. Which has had its decals and the panel line washes sealed in with VMS's satin varnish, which of course is available down at the shop. Now, down at Hannants London, we stock a broad variety of Ammo's oil brushes. However, to start out nice and simple, in this demonstration we're going to just use 3 different colours. Now, the first technique we're going to look at is creating nice and simple fuel and hydraulic leaks. For this we're going to be using 2 colours, Ammo's 3513 Starship Filth and Ammo's 3500 black oil brushes. Additionally, a small collection of brushes is very important so we can push and manipulate oils around the surface. Firstly, we're going to apply some Starship Filth to a piece of cardboard to use as a palette. With a fine tip brush, delicately apply oil around some rivets and panel lines or anywhere you might find suitable on your kit. Remember not to go too overboard though. Try not to apply too many leaks as you run the risk of applying too many surface stains that will be appropriate for your subject. If you're not sure, consulting a reference guide is always a good idea. Once you've settled on a few source points for your leaks, grab a flat-headed brush and simply sweep in the direction of gravity or airflow to drag the oils out. If you want some heavier and more prominent leaks, simply add more oils to the source point and drag out with a flat-headed brush. You can repeat this process again with a black oil brusher to have some nice colour variation in your weathering to get a more pleasing look. The next technique we're going to look at is creating a simple dirt build-up along panel line edges. For this, start by just dotting some oils around a panel line corner where some dirt and grime buildup might be expected. Then with a flat-headed brush, start to push around the oils around the border of the panel line. This process might take a few minutes. What you'll find is that the oils look very faded and undefined after pushing around with a brush. This isn't what we're looking for, and this pattern needs to be broken up. So let's get some white spirit out, and use it to dampen the corner of some folded up tissue paper. Then, wipe the brush onto the dampened tissue paper a few times before returning back to the model. Now we've got a slightly damp brush, we're able to push around the previously soft oil shape into something way more interesting and defined. Again, spend a few minutes pushing oils around. You'll find that the thinner will let the oils naturally set in a position that looks much more like dirt buildup. Now the last technique we're going to look at is panel bleaching. By placing a few dots of Ammo's 3501 around the darkened patches and pushing them around, you can easily create natural worn looking surfaces. This isn't exclusive to walkways though. Using white oils on panel borders and hatches, you can create subtle colour lifts, which can really help break up the monotone colours of the aircraft. The biggest tip overall for using oils is subtlety is key. Building up smaller amounts of oils will give much more manageable patterns. However, the best thing about oils is that if you're not happy with what you've done or you want to start again, simply get a dampened white spirit cloth and wipe your work away. Now, we hope you found this short video on some basic weathering techniques useful. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and we look forward to seeing you down at Hannants London.